Neon Genesis Evangelion is an anime that reached cultural phenomenon status due to its immense popularity primarily in Japan. The rise of anime as a legitimate medium for storytelling and entertainment in the rest of the world helped boost its popularity. It is expected for newcomers to the anime genre to experience the universe of Neon Genesis Evangelion for themselves. It deals with heavy topics such as biblical references, psychology, depression, and other mental illnesses. Therefore, this is not an easy task that anybody can undertake. I define being an EVA fan as someone who partook in a divine comedy-like journey. They eventually emerge from the story's lowest and rawest points as a better and fuller version of themselves. With my love for the series and to keep with its spirit, I decided to dive deeper into its lore and undergo this enormous task. I wanted to share this with all of you through this iceberg video. The iceberg image I'll be referring to was created by Reddit user South American. Special thanks to him as I could not complete this video without his help. I will be providing the link to this image in the description of this video. If you're unfamiliar with the concept of iceberg videos, it typically deals with the subject's more known facts and trivia and dwells deeper into the more obscure ones, thus making the nature of this video full of spoilers and story-related points, so be warned. Without further ado, I would like to present the ultimate Neon Genesis Evangelion iceberg. Tier 1. Neon Genesis Evangelion. Neon Genesis Evangelion is an anime original series that originally aired from October 4, 1995 to March 27, 1996. The title roughly translates to New Century Gospel. The series is set in 2015 in the fictional city of Tokyo 3. It features a post-apocalyptic scenario where gigantic enemies known as angels continually wreak havoc and mechanical robots are enlisted to defend the city from its attackers. It has 26 episodes, which spotlight the typical mecha and kaiju elements that were popular at the time, but later dwell on the psychological trauma of its pilots in the latter part of the series. The anime is somewhat controversial due to the last 2 episodes in the original series. It was directed and written by Hideaki Anno and produced by Studio Gainax. Due to the anime's success, many movies, spin-offs, and merchandise were produced to satisfy the Neon Genesis Evangelion fever that entered the zeitgeist. Hideaki Anno. Hideaki Anno is the man behind the whole Neon Genesis Evangelion franchise. Born on May 22, 1960, he is an animator, a filmmaker, and an actor. In his early career, he worked on short animations. He only gained recognition for his contribution to 1984's Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind, a film directed by the legendary Hayao Miyazaki. Hideaki Anno also co-founded Studio Gainax in the same year. During the production of the Neon Genesis Evangelion anime, Hideaki Anno's condition of clinical depression heavily influenced the direction of the series and its characters. This can be seen in the beginning's light-hearted and slice-of-life approach, then the eventual dive into the darker aspect and effects of the plot that took its toll on the character's mental health. With the enormous tonal departure as seen in the ending of the Rebuild movies, it is clear that Hideaki Anno is finally free from his dark days. Gainax. Gainax is a famous studio for producing anime such as Neon Genesis Evangelion, Nadia, The Secret of Blue Water, Fully Cooley, and Gurren Lagann. The studio was initially called Daikon Film and was formed by university students in 1984. It was co-founded by Hideaki Anno, Yoshiyuki Sadamoto, Hiroyuki Yamaga, Takami Akai, Toshio Okada, Yasuhiro Takeda, and Shinji Higuchi. Studios associated with Gainax are Gonzo, Kara, Gaina, and Trigger. Evangelion Unit. An Evangelion unit is designed after the Oni, a Japanese monster that roughly translates to ogre or demon. Along with Hideaki Anno, Ikuto Yamashita developed the Evangelions. Instead of appearing as blocky and bulky forms found in other anime of the mecha genre, the Evangelions appeared as gigantic and slim humanoids with slick armor. In universe, the Evangelions, also known as Eva for short, were created from the first angel, Adam. They are biomechanical in nature, thus having internal organs underneath their armors. Like the angels, the Evangelions have a core that serves as their primary source of power and the container of the Eva's soul. Evangelions also possess the ability to regenerate. Their armor functions as protection and restraints for when an Evangelion turns berserk. The pilot is inserted on its spine via an entry plug to control an Eva. Evangelions were created with the intention of combat and are equipped with various weapons such as the pallet rifle and progressive knife. Evas can also generate AT fields which can be utilized for both defensive and offensive uses. Although Evangelions contain a powerful arsenal, they are greatly hindered by their power source. They must be connected to an external power source via a cable known as the umbilical cord. When detached from said cable, the Eva uses its internal battery, which is limited to 5 minutes maximum. Evangelion Unit 1. Evangelion Unit 1 is the iconic robot that the protagonist, Shinji Ikari, pilots. It is iconic for its design and colors of predominantly deep purple, neon green highlights, and hints of orange and black. It contains the soul of Yui Ikari, Shinji's mother. Unlike the other Evangelion units, Eva Unit 1 was created from Lilith, the second angel. Evangelion Unit 1 had various forms, enhancements, and appearances among the different spin-offs and storylines of the Neon Genesis Evangelion franchise. Shinji Ikari. Shinji Ikari is a 14-year-old Japanese boy and the main protagonist of the Neon Genesis Evangelion series. He is referred to as the third child and is the pilot of Evangelion Unit 1. He is the son of Gendo Rokubungi and Yui Ikari. Shinji has brown hair and gray eyes and wears a blue and white plug suit when piloting Eva Unit 1. He wore a black and grayish-purple plug suit when he piloted Evangelion Unit 13. His early concept design is similar to his final design, aside from the shorter bangs and black hair. He initially had a passive personality and yearned for his father's affection. Gendo left a young Shinji after Yui's death, which resulted in Shinji's self-doubt and abandonment issues. At the end of the series, he learned to accept himself along with his weaknesses. His personality differs a little depending on the medium. In the manga, Shinji is more prone to anger and can be snarky, while in the anime light novels, a 17-year-old Shinji is seen as more confident and stable than his 14-year-old counterparts. Shinji was voiced by Megumi Ogata in the Japanese dub. She also voiced Kurama from Yu Yu Hakusho, Yugi Moto from Yu-Gi-Oh!, and Makoto Naegi and Nagito Komaeda from the Danganronpa series. Spike Spencer voiced Shinji in the original English dub. He also voiced Rollo Lamperouche from Code Geass and Atsuro Kihara from Shin Megami Tensei Devil Survivor Overclocked. Rei Ayanami. Rei Ayanami, best girl, is the first child and the pilot of Evangelion Unit 0. She is a clone of Gendo's dead wife, Yui Ikari. Unlike Yui, Rei has light blue hair and red eyes, and appears to be of similar age to the other pilots. Her iconic plug suit is primarily white, but different plug suits used by her clones outside of the original anime are colored black. In Rei's early concept art, she has gray eyes and a different hairstyle and color. She may appear emotionless with the people around her. Still, she is capable of human emotion as seen in her interactions with Shinji. The Rei clones are produced in Terminal Dogma, the deepest level of the NERV headquarters. In there lies several Rei clones suspended in LCL. The Rei Ayanami that Shinji encountered was Rei 2. Rei 1 was shown in a time before the events of the first episode and was killed by Naoko Akagi, the mother of Ritsuko Akagi. In episode 23, Rei 2 dies and is replaced by Rei 3. Rei was voiced by Megumi Hayashibara, who also voiced Faye Valentine from Cowboy Bebop, Anna Kyoyama from Shaman King, and Rebecca from One Piece. In the ADV dub, Rei was voiced by Amanda Winley. She also voiced Yukiko Amagi and Ichiko Oya from the Persona anime and games. Asuka Langley Soryu. Asuka Langley Soryu is a 14-year-old German-Japanese girl. She is called the second child and pilots the Evangelion Unit 2. Asuka has long red hair and blue eyes, and wears primarily red and some orange colors in her plug suit. Her early concept design shows Asuka with dirty blonde hair, a shorter hairstyle, and freckles. Little is known about her parents, aside from the details concerning her mother's death. Her mother, Kyoko Zeppelin Soryu, was a scientist working on the Evangelion project in Gehirn's German branch. Like Shinji and Eva Unit 1, Eva Unit 2 contains the soul of Asuka's mother. Asuka has a competitive and perfectionist personality. She is very hard on herself and has pride in being an Eva pilot. Like Shinji and Rei, Asuka has different incarnations in the various spin-offs within the franchise. One example is Asuka Shikinami Langley from the rebuild of Evangelion movies. Asuka's Japanese dub was voiced by Yuko Miyamura, who also voiced Casca from Berserk, Chun-Li in the Street Fighter games, and Larxene from the Kingdom Hearts games. Asuka's English voice actor in the ADV dub was Tiffany Lynn Grant. She also voiced Midoriko Sono or Sodoko from Girls on Panzer. Kaoru Nagisa. Kaoru Nagisa is the 17th angel and is also known as Tabriz. Kaoru was also deemed the 5th child and was the replacement pilot for Eva Unit 2. He has grey hair and red eyes. His plug suit's color were purple and grey when he piloted the Evangelion Unit 13 with Shinji, and blue and black in the anime. Kaoru is Adam's soul personified. This is the result of Adam's body and soul separating after the second impact. Kaoru's personality differs depending on the media. In the anime and the movies, he is benevolent and affectionate towards Shinji. While in the manga, Kaoru still yearns for Shinji's affection, but he appears with psychopathic tendencies. Among the anime, manga, and rebuild movies, Kaoru dies comforting Shinji and telling him that his death is not Shinji's fault. Kaoru's Japanese voice actor is Akira Ishida. He also voiced Judo from Berserk, Gaara from Naruto, and Byakuya Kagami from Danganronpa. Kaoru's ADV voice actor is Kyle Sturdivant. Jerry Jewell voiced Kaoru in the rebuild of Evangelion movies. NERV. NERV is an organization that focuses on defending Earth from the angels. It was formed after the second impact and was responsible for the Evangelion's creation. NERV has various branches such as in the United States, Germany, and others, but its main operation is based in Japan. The United Nations oversees the operations of the NERV organization. It is the successor of the Gehirn organization, which was responsible for developing the Magi supercomputers. Secretly, through the directions by Seele, NERV also works on the Human Instrumentality Project and is possibly its primary objective. NERV is the German word for nerve. Its red logo displays a fig leaf with the words NERV and God's in his heaven, all's right with the world under it. Seele. Seele is a secret organization that oversees the United Nations and NERV. Seele has influence on world governments and other organizations. The organization's objective is to achieve the Human Instrumentality Project, where people worldwide are united via the primordial soup, thus ending the individual struggles of the human race. Seele intended to achieve the 13th pact by sending Kaoru, Adam's soul, to merge with Lilith, which was hidden in Terminal Dogma. The only named member of Seele is Kale Lawrence, referred to as Seele #1. Seele's logo differs between the original anime and the rebuild movies. In the original anime, the logo is a simple inverted triangle with 7 eyes, while in the rebuild movies, the logo retains the inverted triangle and 7 eyes, but an apple, a snake, the word Seele, and a German quote from the poem Ode to Joy is seen in the middle of this triangle. The quote translates to, "Above the starry firmament, God judges as we judged." The Seele members use monoliths during their meetings to preserve their anonymity and present a mysterious and menacing feel to the viewer. Upon seeing the backside of these monoliths, a familiar insignia is found. Zankoku na Tenshi no Teze. Zankoku na Tenshi no Teze, or A Cruel Angel Thesis, is the opening song of the anime. It was performed by Yoko Takahashi and the lyrics were written by Neko Oikawa. It was mentioned that Oikawa focused on the themes of mother, boys and girls of 14, and an adult woman when working on the lyrics. The song has 2 instrumental versions, the heady feeling of freedom and good or don't be. The former uses the violin and guitar, while the latter uses a piano and a guitar. The song achieved a positive critical reception at its release and even years after the anime's original airing. It is iconic and fans of the series or Japanese pop lovers still enjoy it. Fly Me to the Moon. Fly Me to the Moon was a song written by Bart Howard and performed by Kay Ballard in 1954. The song was made famous by Frank Sinatra in 1964. The song is commonly associated with the Apollo 10 and Apollo 11 expeditions. Fly Me to the Moon was the ending song in the original anime series. It was performed by different artists and had arrangements that varied per episode. The song was not present in the Netflix version of the anime due to Netflix not bothering with the licensing fees. Jet Alone. Jet Alone is a robot created by the Japan Heavy Chemical Industries. It was developed to replace the Evangelions. Unlike the Evangelion, which relies on external power sources, the Jet Alone has a nuclear reactor inside it and can function for at least 150 consecutive days, and it does not require a pilot. Also, Jet Alone cannot generate an AT field. In Episode 7, Jet Alone's demonstration was sabotaged by NERV to prevent it from replacing the Evangelions. Rebuild of Evangelion. Rebuild of Evangelion is a retelling of the original Neon Genesis Evangelion anime. It is consisted of 4 movies: 2007's Evangelion 1.0, You Are Not Alone, 2009's Evangelion 2.0, You Cannot Advance, 2012's Evangelion 3.0, You Cannot Redo, and 2021's Evangelion 3.0 plus 1.0, Thrice Upon a Time. EVA 1.0 is very similar to the original anime from episodes 1 to 6, but it contains differences such as the early appearance of Lilith, Terminal Dogma now referred to as Central Dogma, and Angel's designated numbers are now different from the original anime. EVA 2.0 is a loose retelling of episodes 8 to 19. The film introduced a new character, Mari Illustrious Machinami, this universe's 4th child. Asuka is also presented in this movie, but is now called Asuka Langley Shikinami, replacing the Soryu surname. The film ends with Shinji triggering the 3rd impact. EVA 3.0 is set 14 years after the ending of the last movie. In this film, Kaoru Nagisa is introduced as the pilot of Evangelion Unit 13. This movie fleshed out and further developed his relationship with Shinji. A new organization, Ville, is presented as NERV's rival and aims to prevent future impacts. Lastly, 3.0 plus 1.0 finishes the whole rebuild saga. It shares some elements with the end of Evangelion movie and ends the battle between NERV and Ville. It also revealed Gendo's history and the peace between father and son. I love the rebuild of Evangelion film series. It shared a lot of elements and lore with the original anime. Still, it finished with a happier and more fulfilling conclusion. Shin Evangelion Gekishoban. Shin Evangelion Gekishoban, or Evangelion 3.0 plus 1.0 Thrice Upon a Time, is the last movie in the rebuild of Evangelion series. It was released on March 8, 2021 in Japan, while it was released internationally on August 13, 2021 via Amazon Prime Video. The film was expected to come out in 2015, but Hideaki Anno's mental state resulted in its delay. Aside from the mentioned reason for the film's delay, another would be the production of 2016's Shin Godzilla, which Anno also worked on. The pandemic that started in 2020 also influenced the film's development. With the help of his friends and family, Anno was finally able to continue and finish the movie. It was stated that Anno wanted to move on from the Evangelion story and turn the series into the new Gundam. This allows new creators to work on the universe established by the rebuild movies. It was theorized that the title Thrice Upon a Time refers to the film's third ending of the Evangelion series. The first is episodes 25 and 26 of the original anime, the second is the end of Evangelion movie, and the third ending is this film. End of Evangelion. The End of Evangelion is a movie that was released on July 19, 1997. Due to the controversial ending of the original anime, the film functioned as an alternative conclusion. The title for episode 25 was changed from Do You Love Me to Love is Destructive. Episode 26's title was changed from Take Care of Yourself to one more final I Need You. The End of Evangelion's animation was great to compensate for the rough animations and sketches of episodes 25 and 26 from the original anime. It contained awe-inspiring and terrifying imagery throughout its runtime. The original anime and film shared the same message of learning to love and live for yourself. Still, it was expressed in dramatically different tones, with the End of Evangelion being much darker. Come Susur Todd. Come Susur Todd, or Come Sweet Death in English, is a song played during the climax of the End of Evangelion film. The song was performed by Aryan Schreiber and arranged by Shiro Sagisu. The original Japanese lyrics were written by Hideaki Anno himself and were translated to English by Rachel Clark. An alternative song named Everything You've Ever Dreamed, also performed by Aryan Schreiber, was produced but not used. Like Come Susur Todd, Everything You've Ever Dreamed has dark and melancholic lyrics accompanied and contrasted by uplifting music. Operation Yashima. Operation Yashima was implemented by Misato Katsuragi during the battle with Ramiel in episode 6. To defeat the angel, they plan to use a special positron cannon that draws enormous power. To execute this, a nationwide blackout was requested by NERV. In March 2011, Japan was hit by tsunamis and earthquakes, thus resulting in blackouts. An online campaign to conserve energy was launched by the Japanese internet users. This campaign was called Operation Yashima, in homage to the operation with the same name from the anime. Angel Shito. Shito is the Japanese equivalent of the term angel used in the anime. The word may translate to angel, apostle, or messenger. Angels are the godlike monsters faced by the Evangelions throughout the series. They are beings derived from Adam. They may also be referred to as Adam's children, coming from his seed of life. The angels have an ambiguous manner and function like a being without thought that simply exists. Communication along with expression is not present except for a few of the angels. The angels have souls, thus making them capable of generating AT fields. Despite their appearance being vastly different from humans, they contain blood within their bodies. Most angels have red-colored blood, except for Saxiel, whose blood is blue. Like the Evas, the angels have cores that contain their souls and energy source, and are capable of regeneration. But unlike the Evas, the angels have an S2 engine, or fruit of life, that grants them limitless power. The origins of the angels in the Rebuild movies are different from the original anime. In the Rebuild movies, angels were once humans that ate the fruit of knowledge. They were then given two choices: to be destroyed by angels, or to destroy the angels and take their place and be blessed with the fruit of life. Various angels and their number of designations vary across the different mediums. The only constant is Adam as the first angel, Lilith as the second angel, and Kaoru Nagisa or Tabriz as the last angel. Yoshiyuki Sadamoto. Yoshiyuki Sadamoto is a character designer, manga artist, and co-founder of Studio Gainax. He worked on the designs of the characters in Neon Genesis Evangelion. He also worked on The Girl Who Leapt Through Time, Summer Wars, and Wolf Children. Shiro Sagisu. Shiro Sagisu is a Japanese music producer and composer. He collaborated with Gainax, notably on the soundtrack for Neon Genesis Evangelion. He arranged most, if not all, the original soundtrack for the anime and the movies. Sagisu also worked on Nadia, The Secret of Blue Water, Bleach, and Berserk, Neon Genesis Evangelion manga. The Neon Genesis Evangelion manga and anime have a strange relationship. The manga was first released to increase interest in the upcoming anime. However, the anime concluded first, so the manga had to adapt the story of the anime. It was written and illustrated by Yoshiyuki Sadamoto, and chapters were released from February 1995 to June 2013. Anno worked with Sadamoto to supervise the manga so that the significant events remained aligned. Overall, the manga adaptation functioned as supplementary material for the anime. The manga adaptation consisted of 14 volumes or 7 volumes for the collector's edition. In its early run, the manga was initially titled Neon Genesis, but later changed to share the same name with the anime. There are differences between the manga adaptation and the anime. In the manga, Toji dies at the hands of Shinji. Shinji is not as passive as his anime counterpart and is prone to anger. Kaji's childhood and history before the series events were also explored. While Shinji and Asuka's relationship was given more screen time in the anime, the relationship between Shinji and Rei is further developed in the manga. Kaoru is quite psychopathic in the manga. He comes off as passive-aggressive in how he expresses his affection for Shinji. Lastly, the ending of the manga is different from the anime. People that survived the Human Instrumentality project had their memories wiped of the events. However, the dead mass-produced Eva's carcasses are still present in Tokyo. Tier 2. Asuka Shikinami Langli. Asuka Shikinami Langli, not to be confused with Asuka Soryu Langli, is a character introduced in Evangelion 2.0 You Cannot Advance. Like Soryu, Shikinami is a 14-year-old German girl that pilots Eva Unit 2. During the events of the 3rd and 4th movies, Shikinami was technically 28. She retains the body of a 14-year-old due to the curse of Eva, which hinders the pilots from growing old. Shikinami and Soryu share the same character design. Still, fans observe a subtle difference in their plug suits that serve as an indicator for identifying one from the other. The item in mind is in their red plug suits located around the neck area. For Shikinami, her plug suit has a pair of blue diamond-shaped objects and a ridge on top of her collarbone. On the other hand, Soryu's plug suit has no ridge and a couple of black rectangles are seen instead of the blue diamonds. It was pointed out by Reddit user Glade68 that the Asuka we see Shinji was talking to at the end of EVA 3.0 plus 1.0 is the combination of both Soryu and Shikinami. Using the mentioned logic, he argued that the Asuka we see has rectangles and the ridge in her plug suit. Although no explicit confirmations were made by the producers, this may just be an update on the iconic plug suit's design. These observations serve as a headcanon for many fans such as myself. Soryu is also seen wearing different plug suits throughout the rebuild movies, perhaps to boost the sales of EVA figures and other merchandise. In 2.0, Shikinami appears in a plug suit similar to her original counterparts, with the only difference being the previously mentioned item. Before piloting EVA Unit 3, Shikinami is seen wearing a test plug suit, donning her red color but now complemented by an orange colorant in her torso and some parts of her arm. Shikinami's plug suit in 3.0 and 3.33 have the same design, but the latter has an updated color scheme. 3.0 was the theatrical release of the third movie, while 3.33 was the updated version of the movie for the Blu-ray. Lastly, in 3.0 plus 1.0, Shikinami wears a white plug suit for Operation Yamato. For Shikinami's personality, her character's motivation is different from Soryu's. Soryu does things and aims to excel in everything she does to appear mature and gain acknowledgement from her peers, while Shikinami aims for excellence to be independent and self-reliant. With the common thread of the characters from the series sharing the same names with warships, Soryu was changed to Shikinami to better fit with the Ayanami and Makinami naming convention. Mari Makinami Illustrious. Mari Makinami Illustrious is the fourth child in the Rebuilds universe. She has long brown hairs and blue eyes and typically wears a pink suit. Little is known about her origins and her age is unknown. Mari is a very energetic character and likes to play games with her peers. But despite this playful attitude, she can be ruthless in battle. As seen in her early concept designs, Mari used to have different hairstyles. Sadamoto initially considered giving her plug suit a different color but eventually ended up with the color pink. Mari is first seen at the beginning of Evangelion 2.0, piloting EVA Provisional Unit 5 while wearing an army green old plug suit. Later in the movie, Mari wears an updated pink plug suit when she piloted EVA Unit 2. Like Shikinami, Mari wore plug suits with the same design but different colors for Evangelion 3.0 and Evangelion 3.33. Mari also wear a white plug suit for Operation Yamato. Mari was voiced by Maya Sakamoto in the Japanese dub, who also voiced Shinobu from the Monogatari series, Eto from Tokyo Ghoul, and Echidna from Re:Zero. Mari was voiced by two voice actors in the English dub, Trina Nishimura for the EVA 2.0 and 3.0 movies, and Deneen Melody in 3.0 plus 1.0. The reason for recasting Mari is unknown. There are characters from the spin-offs and adaptations with the same design or name. We have Mari Vincennes, another fourth child from the Neon Genesis Evangelion RPG, the NERV white paper game. Mari, a child pilot from the NERV US branch from the Anima light novel, and Mari Makinami from the extra stage chapter of the Neon Genesis Evangelion manga. Yoshiyuki Sadamoto stated that Mari appearing in the manga adaptation is not canon and just fan service. Although, there is a girl that looked a lot like Mari shown in Gendo's flashback. Masayuki. Masayuki, or Masayuki Yamaguchi, is an animator that worked as an episode director for Neon Genesis Evangelion. He worked on the anime storyboard and the animation of the iconic ending sequence. Masayuki also directed key animations and storyboards for the rebuild of Evangelion films. He produced the anime music videos for the 01 Test Type DVD and NGE Music and Remix DVD. These DVDs contain the full-length opening and full-length ending music videos. It also included songs featuring 3 characters from the anime: Asuka in Tamashii no Rufuran or Soul's Refrain, Rei in Tengoku no Kyoku or Memories of Paradise, and Misato in Thanatos If I Can't Be Yours. Death and Rebirth. Evangelion Death and Rebirth is a film comprising 2 parts. Death and Rebirth. The film was released on March 15, 1997, months before the release of the end of Evangelion. Death is 70 minutes long and directed by Masayuki. It is a recap of the first 24 episodes of the original anime. It featured footage not seen in the original airing and was then re-released as extra footage for episodes 21 to 24. Death also featured Shinji, Asuka, Rei, and Kaoru performing Pachelbel's Canon as a string quartet in their school's auditorium. Rebirth is a teaser showing the unfinished version of the end of Evangelion film's first 25 minutes. Death Through Squared. The Death film was further edited by Masayuki and had the extra footage removed. This edited version of the film was called Death Through and aired on January 2, 1998. On March 7 of the same year, a second edit was made named Death Through Squared. It was included in the final release of the revival of Evangelion. Tamashii no Rufuran. Tamashii no Rufuran, or Soul's Refrain in English, is a song in the Evangelion Death and Rebirth film. The song was performed by Yoko Takahashi and it played during the mass production Evangelion's arrival in the Rebirth film. Apostolos. Apostolos is the alternative term to indicate the angels. The term first appeared in the Neon Genesis Evangelion proposal. There were supposed to be 28 Apostolos instead of the 17 angels we see in the original anime. Unlike the angels with red cores, the Apostolos were supposed to have red and blue cores. Kara. Kara Inc. or simply Kara is an animation studio founded by Hideaki Anno. The studio is best known for producing the rebuild of Evangelion films. Kara was founded on May 17, 2006. The word Kara means joy in Greek. Kara sued Gainax in 2016 for not receiving the royalties that Hideaki Anno worked on. Credit. Credit, the German word for credit, is an organization that appeared in Evangelion 3.0 plus 1.0 thrice upon a time. It is an organization formed by Wille to support the people who survived the near third impact. Ryoji Kaji II is a member of Credit. Ikuto Yamashita. Ikuto Yamashita is the mechanical designer in Neon Genesis Evangelion. He also worked on Gunbuster, Nadia the Secret of Blue Water, and the Rebuild movies. Yamashita also published some written work under Kara, the light novel series Neon Genesis Evangelion Anima. Takeshi Honda. Takeshi Honda is an animator, illustrator, animation director, and designer. Honda worked on the opening animation of the original anime. He also worked in key animation in some of the episodes. Honda worked as the mechanical animation director at the end of Evangelion and in key animation for the rebuild of Evangelion movies. Eva Extra. Eva Extra is a set of promotional magazines that functions as a teaser for the Evangelion 2.0 You Cannot Advance film. There are 4 magazines in this set. The first 3 magazines were given away for free, while the 4th magazine was sold during the film's theatrical release. There was also an app for Android and iOS which is exclusive to Japan and contains promotional material for Evangelion. Mana Kirishima. Mana Kirishima is a character that appeared in the Neon Genesis Evangelion Iron Maiden game. Mana is a transfer student and a test pilot for T-Raiden T Land Cruiser. Mana's character design is based both on Rei and Asuka. Her appearance resembles closely to Rei, while her personality is more similar to Asuka's. She also appears in the Neon Genesis Evangelion Shinji Ikari Racing Project manga. Evangelion New Theatrical Edition Sound Impact. Evangelion New Theatrical Edition Sound Impact. Yes, the 3ND is pronounced as sound, don't ask. Is a rhythm game released for the PlayStation Portable on September 28, 2011. The game adapts the events in the EVA 1.0 and 2.0 movies. Tracks that were used in the film were also used in this game. Whenever a song is completed, artworks are unlocked in the game's gallery. There were two versions of the game released. The first included the game's soundtrack, while the second contained the soundtrack, a shirt, and a pair of earphones produced by Audio-Technica. Positron Rifle. The Positron Rifle is a long-range weapon that the Evangelions use and is shoulder-mounted. The rifle has limited ammunition of 8 rounds. The Positron Rifle is seen 3 times in the anime. The first in Episode 6, where it was seen but not used. The second in Episode 9, used by EVA Unit 2 against the angel Israfel. And the last in Episode 22, used again by EVA Unit 2 against the angel Araya. Utada Hikaru. Utada Hikaru is a Japanese-American artist. She performed the theme songs for the rebuild of Evangelion movies, Beautiful World, Sakura Nagashi, and One Last Kiss. Utada Hikaru is also known for performing the theme songs from one of my favorite series, Kingdom Hearts. I've also made an iceberg video about it. If you're interested, then I suggest you check it out. Beautiful World. Beautiful World is a song performed by Utada Hikaru. The song served as the main theme for Evangelion 1.0 and 2.0. There are 3 versions of this song. The original is featured in EVA 1.0's trailer, the Planet B acoustic mix that played in EVA 2.0, and the Da Capo version which played at the end credits of 3.0 plus 1.0 after the movie's theme song. Sakura Nagashi. Sakura Nagashi, or Flowing Cherry Blossoms in English, is another song performed by Utada Hikaru. It was the theme song for Evangelion 3.0 and played at the movie's end credits. Shiro Tokita. Shiro Tokita is a character from the original anime and was first seen in episode 7. He spearheaded the development of Jet Alone. In the Shinji Ikari Racing Project manga, it is stated that Shiro Tokita attended college with Yui Ikari. The two had a friendly rivalry due to their class rankings. Operation Yamato. Operation Yamato is a military operation executed by Ville to prevent the Fifth Impact and the Human Instrumentality Project. Operation Yamato is seen in action during the middle part of the EVA 3.0 plus 1.0, where Ville uses the Wunder as a battleship against the hordes of mass-produced EVA Mark 7s. The operation's objective is to neutralize Evangelion Unit 13 and prevent the Human Instrumentality Project with the help of a deactivation key equipped by the new Unit 2 Alpha. Kazuya Tsurumaki. Kazuya Tsurumaki is a protege of Hideaki Anno. He also worked as an animator at Gainax. He served as an assistant director, working alongside Anno during the development of the original anime. Tsurumaki also worked as a director for the rebuild of Evangelion movies. In 2000, he debuted as a full-fledged director. Tsurumaki directed Fully Cooley and the sequel to Gunbuster, which is Die Buster. 3.0 minus 120 min. Evangelion 3.0 minus 120 min is a manga before the events of Evangelion 3.0 you cannot redo. The manga was written by Kazuya Tsurumaki and published in EVA Extra Extra. It featured Asuka and Mari talking about Shinji and the retrieval of EVA Unit 1 from outer space. It is set 120 minutes before the events at the start of EVA 3.0. Village 3. Village 3 is located in the early parts of Evangelion 3.0 plus 1.0 Thrice Upon a Time. The village is located a few kilometers from Tokyo 3's ruins. With the help of Ville, the area was reclaimed. The place was made habitable for the survivors of the near Third Impact, thanks to the Angel Sealing Hex pillars. Village 3 is a simple village that uses agriculture and poultry as its supplementary food source. Credit also visits 3 times a week to aid the citizens of Village 3 with food and other resources. Homes are created from recycled materials. Debris produced from the near Third Impact is seen floating around the village. In Village 3, Toji Suzuhara, Hikari Horaki and their family are seen living within the village. Kensuke's house is located in the mountain area of the town. Mark IV. Evangelion Mark IV is an Evangelion unit present in the Rebuild movies. Mark IV has three forms: Mark IV-A, Mark IV-B, and Mark IV-C. All Mark IVs are autonomous Evangelion units first seen in Evangelion 3.0. They also share the same color scheme, which is black, purple, and yellowish green. The Mark IVs also share a disc-like shape as their core body. Mark IV-A looks like a UFO with two long legs. It is seen piercing Unit 2's defense by using its anti-AT field. Mark IV-B is revealed guarding Eva Unit 1 when Asuka captured the Tesseract containing Eva Unit 1 in outer space. The unit was then destroyed by a laser beam produced by Eva Unit 1. Mark IV-C has the disc shape like the other Mark IVs, but C has panels attached at its sides and tentacles at the top and bottom sides of the disc. It could camouflage its main body via hexagonal tiles that can reflect the ocean's surface. The Mark IVs were last seen getting impaled alongside the other Evangelions near the end of 3.0 plus 1.0. Evangelion Mark 9A, Mark 10, 11, and 12. In the rebuild of Evangelion's universe, instead of only having one Adam, there were 4 Adam vessels. From these Adams, Evangelion Unit Mark 9A, 10, 11, and 12 were created. These Evangelion units are all piloted by the advanced Ayanami series, clones of Rei that function similar to that of dummy plugs. Although these Evas cannot produce AT fields of their own, they can levitate and shoot light beams from their masks. The Evangelion units share the same look except for their distinguishing colors and the number of lines in their masks. Mark 9A has lines in its mask depicting the letters IX, the Roman numeral for 9. Its distinctive color is yellow and it's the master of the AAA Wunder ship. Mark 10 has lines in its mask depicting the letter X, the Roman numeral for 10. Its distinctive color is red and it's the master of the NHG Erlosong ship. Mark 11 has lines in its mask depicting the letters XI, the Roman numeral for 11. Its distinctive color is blue and it's the master of the NHG Erbusond ship. Mark 12 has lines in its mask depicting the letters XII, the Roman numeral for 12. Its distinctive color is white and the master of the NHG Gebet ship. Evangelion units Mark 9A, 10, 11, and 12 are last seen at the ending of the film as part of the final Evangelion. Tier 3. Neon Genesis Evangelions. For Neon Genesis Evangelions, I think this point refers to the loop theory. All iterations of Neon Genesis Evangelions, the original anime, the manga, the rebuild movies, etc., are all canon and share the same continuity. At the end of every iteration, the Human Instrumentality project is achieved, and Shinji saves the world by resetting the world's events according to his wishes. The events of the world restart, explaining the reintroduction of characters in the new timeline or adaptation. It was theorized that from the central adaptations, the original anime is the first iteration, followed by the manga, then eventually the rebuild of Evangelion movies. I believe that this theory was confirmed by Anno during the last scene in the 3.0 plus 1.0 movie. We saw Kaoru encircled by coffins in the moon saying, "The only thing that can end my existence is vacuum decay." That's why I have to repeatedly play a role in this predestined circular narrative for all of eternity. This was further supported by having the events of the original anime projected in the background while Shinji stated that, "I'm going to choose a life without Evas as well. I won't rewind time or revert the world. I'm going to rewrite the world into one that doesn't have Evas. A new world where people can live." Rei then responds with, "Birth of a New World, Neon Genesis." Notice that both Shinji and Rei mentioned Neon Genesis explicitly without the word Evangelion in it. Neon Genesis may also mean a new origin, thus recreating the world without the Evangelions. We then see Shinji and the others appear in the Ube Shinkawa Station, a location in real-world Japan. This tells us that this world, the world Shinji just created, is a world without Evangelions. Without Evangelions, there would be no Human Instrumentality Project, thus making the rebuild of Evangelion the last iteration in the loop theory. A video explaining more of the details of the loop theory was posted by Mick Sands. I will be providing a link to his video in the description. Alternatively, Neon Genesis Evangelions may also refer to a PS2 game that appeared in Iron Maiden. He pilots the T-Raiden T Raiden. Keita was injured after falling from a waterfall. Atsushi Nishigori. Atsushi Nishigori is a protege of Hideaki Anno. Nishigori was the general drawing director of EVA 3.0 plus 1.0. Nishigori is also the creator of Darling in the Franxx. This recent anime was clearly influenced by Neon Genesis Evangelion. Currently, at the time of this script's writing, Nishigori works as a storyboard and unit director of Spy Family. UCC Collab. Oeshima Coffee Co. or UCC is a Japanese coffee company founded in 1933. UCC has collaborated with the Neon Genesis Evangelion franchise to promote its brand and the series. Starting in 1997 with the release of Death and Rebirth and the end of Evangelion films, UCC ran a campaign named UCC Evangelion Project. The collaboration led to different UCC can designs, 7 editions depicting the show's characters holding a can of UCC coffee. The partnership even created an Evangelion vending machine. Second Impression. Neon for the Sega Saturn. Second Impression is a sequel to another Sega Saturn game called Neon Genesis Evangelion. Second Impression is an FMV game similar to visual novels, except scenes are animated. It also featured 3D sections where players control the Evas and fight the angels. The game features multiple endings depending on the actions of the player. Unfortunately, the game was never translated into English. Mayumi Yamagishi. Mayumi Yamagishi is a character introduced in the Second Impression game. She contains the insubstantial angel's core within her body. She is a take on Shinji's female version, an introvert, likes to read, and prefers to be alone. Insubstantial Angel. The Insubstantial Angel is an angel introduced in Second Impression. The angel got its name due to its core being possessed within the body of Mayumi Yamagishi, making it incomplete. It has 3 states: the larva, the chrysalis, and the imago. Imago is the insubstantial angel's final form. It has the appearance of a giant floating insect. Kimi ga kimi ni umareta wake. Kimi ga kimi ni umareta wake, or You Are Your Own Reason for Being Born translated into English, is a song played in the Second Impression game. During the Cultural Festival, Mayumi Yamagishi sings the song. The song was performed by Kyoko Hikami. Get It On Doppelganger ni Kuchizuke wo. This entry is a song also featured in the Second Impression game. The title translates to Kiss from the Doppelganger. The song was performed by Yuko Miyamura. Vatican Treaty. The Vatican Treaty was introduced in the rebuild of Evangelion movies. It is an agreement among international governments which limits the use of up to 3 Evangelion units per country to balance the power dynamics. The treaty also states that standard Evangelion units must not be modified for military purposes. RS Hopper. RS Hopper is a defensive weapon used by the Evangelions. It was introduced in EVA 3.0 due to Evangelion Unit 13's inability to generate an AT field. The RS Hopper is an alternative to producing artificial AT fields. However, the RS Hopper cannot continually deploy AT fields. There are 4 RS hoppers stored in the shoulder pylons of EVA Unit 13. Midichlorians. There is an Easter egg in the manga adaptation referring to Star Wars. In the profiles for the EVA pilots, the word midichlorians is seen in their description. This refers to the fictional substance in a Force user's body that allows them to wield the Force. Return to the Primitive Heart 2012 version. This entry is a song by Asuka's Japanese voice actress, Yuko Miyamura. The song was released in 2012 and was featured in the CR Evangelion 7 Pachinko machine. Tokyo 2. Tokyo 2 is the capital of Japan before Tokyo 3. It is created as the original Tokyo Sync due to the second impact. In the real world, Tokyo 2 is located in Matsumoto City in the Nagano Prefecture. D-type equipment. The D-type equipment, also known as heat and pressure resistant armor, was used by EVA Unit 2 in episode 10 of the original anime. The armor was used to dive into the active volcano to defeat the Angel Sandalphon. As the name suggests, it is resistant to pressure and heat, making the D-type equipment perfect for this mission. Maria Iscariot. Maria Iscariot was mentioned during the dialogue between Mari and Fuyutsuki in EVA 3.0 plus 1.0. During their interaction, it seems that the two have known each other. Mari refers to Fuyutsuki as Professor Fuyutsuki, whilst perhaps it was a nickname given by Fuyutsuki previously after his history with Mari. Midori Kitakami. Midori Kitakami is a character that first appeared in EVA 3.0 and is a member of the Ville organization. She operates the sonar and radar of Wonder. Midori is quite resentful to Shinji and, to some extent, Misato for the way she handles the operations. Like the other characters, Kitakami is also the name of a Japanese battleship. Koji Takao. Koji Takao is another character introduced in EVA 3.0. He, like Kitakami, is a member of the Ville organization and controls the engine ignition of Wonder. Unlike Midori, Koji is interested in how Misato runs Ville. Takao is named after a Japanese battleship. Ryoji Kaji II. Ryoji Kaji II is a 13-year-old boy and the son of Misato Katsuragi and Ryoji Kaji. Ryoji does not know his parents, and he works as a lab member of Credit. He is introduced in EVA 3.0 plus 1.0. He was initially supposed to be named Shinji Kaji. Shinkansen Henkei Robo Shinkalion, the Animation 31. Shinkansen Henkei Robo Shinkalion is an anime where Japanese trains transform into mecha robots. In the anime's episode 31, many Neon Genesis Evangelion references are featured. This includes the episode's title card, Tokyo 3, Hiroki Hikari's appearance, and the enemy named King Angelael that look like a fusion of previous angels. The episode even featured Shinkalion Z 500 Type Eva, a Shinkalion with Unit 1's iconic colors. The episode was clearly a love letter to the series and is full of fan service. Angelic Days. Angelic Days is a manga released as Neon Genesis Evangelion The Iron Maiden 2nd. It was written by Fumino Hayashi. It ran from November 2003 to December 2005, and it has 6 volumes. The manga is a rom-com where Shinji is torn between the series girls. In this universe, Asuka and Shinji are childhood friends. Instead of an introvert, Rei in this manga is an extrovert. Shinji, Asuka, and Rei are still Evangelion pilots, and Evangelion at School is a chibified web anime series based on Neon Genesis Evangelion. There are 24 episodes, and the anime ran from October 26, 2007 until March 11, 2009. It is a slice-of-life anime that features the series characters and EVA Unit 1 in the classroom setting. Petite Eva is also known as Pucci Eva. Groundworks. Groundworks is a collection of 5 books that contain character art design by Yoshiyuki Sadamoto and storyboards for the Death and Rebirth movies and the original anime. The book comprises of cell shading guides for the characters. The storyboard sketches of some of the series scenes are also seen in these books. Evangelion Chronicle. Evangelion Chronicle is an omnibus of magazines called Evangelion Chronicle. The magazine had 30 issues and was serialized from 2006 to 2007. An additional 10 issues were added in 2010 to include materials from Evangelion 2.0. Another 10 issues were added in 2011, which details the differences between the rebuild of Evangelion movies and the original anime. Tier 4. Evangelion Chronicle Illustrations. Evangelion Chronicle Illustrations is an art book published in 2008 and then republished by a different publisher in 2011. The book is a collection of artworks featured in the original 30 issues of the Evangelion Chronicle magazines. The 2011 version included artwork from the first 2 films of the rebuild of Evangelion movies. An English version of the 2008 edition was published. Types were Evangelion units that were introduced in 3.0 plus 1.0. The OPFER types were Evangelion units Mark 9A, 10, 11, and 12. These Evangelion units were derived from the 4 vessels of Adam. Opfer is German for sacrifice. The name of the units was fitting as we see these units cannibalized by Mari's Unit 8. Upon eating the Opfer units, Unit 8 then transforms into the final Evangelion. NHG Erlosong. NHG Erlosong is a battleship that appeared in EVA 3.0 plus 1.0. It is an autonomous warship associated with Evangelion Unit Mark 10. Erlosong is German for salvation or redemption. Kozo Fuyutsuki and Mari were seen talking inside the ship. NHG Erbsunde. NHG Erbsunde is a battleship that also appeared in EVA 3.0 plus 1.0. It is an autonomous warship associated with the Evangelion Unit Mark 11. Erbsunde is German for original sin. The ship was not seen with any passengers in it. NHG Gebet. NHG Gebet is a battleship that also appeared in EVA 3.0 plus 1.0. It is also an autonomous warship but associated with Evangelion Unit Mark 12. Gebet is German for prayer. The ship was not seen with any passengers in it. Fumino Hayashi. Fumino Hayashi is a Japanese artist who worked on the Angelic Days manga. She also worked on her own mangas revolving around sumo wrestlers. Seiji Kiyo. Seiji Kiyo is the assistant of Ikuto Yamashita. He worked on the new designs of Seilei's logo in the rebuild of Evangelion movies. Aside from his contribution to Evangelion, he also worked as a design assistant on the space battleship Yamato 2199 and Star Blazers 2199. Hiroyuki Utatani. Hiroyuki Utatani is a manga artist that worked on the illustrations in the Anima light novels. While Yamashita focused on the mechanical designs, Utatani focused on the character designs and illustrations. Their work in the light novels were featured in the Anima Visual Book, an art book containing all visual materials related to Anima. Sore o Nasumono. Sore o Nasumono, Neon Genesis Evangelion Concept Design Works is an art book published in 1998. The art book is based on the Iron Maiden game and has 143 pages. The book was written and illustrated by Ikuto Yamashita the mechanical designer of the series, and Seijo Kyo, his assistant. The book featured the mechanical designs that were shown in the original anime. It also featured new designs in the Iron Maiden game, such as the T Raiden T Land Cruiser. Commander Nagisa. Commander Nagisa refers to Kaoru Nagisa. The term was mentioned during the ending events of EVA 3.0 plus 1.0, where Kaji referred to Kaoru as Commander Nagisa in what seems to be the commander's office in NERV. It is unexplained how Kaoru achieved this position. Still, fans suggest that Kaoru became NERV's commander during the 14-year time skip between EVA 2.0 and EVA 3.0. During the scene, it also appears that Kaji might have been Kaoru's deputy commander during his time in leading NERV. Proposal. The proposal refers to Neon Genesis Evangelion Proposal. It is a document with 35 pages created in 1993, 2 years before the anime's airing. The document is the blueprint created by Gainax for the series. It featured the early concept designs of the main characters, the Evas, the Angels, and the summaries for the tentative 26 episodes. The proposal has a lot of differences from the final product. Some notable differences are the term used to refer to the enemies. Instead of angels, they were supposed to be called apostolos. Seilei and Gehern were not mentioned in the plot. Lastly, operators Maya Ibuki, Makoto Yuga, and Shigeru Aoba are not present in the list of characters. Kodama Horaki. Kodama Horaki is the older sister of the class representative Hikari Horaki. Kodama was never shown in the original anime nor the rebuild movies. She was cited in the Neon Genesis Evangelion Proposal, but was not shown. Kodama was also mentioned but not shown during the events of Anima and influenced Hikari's action in the light novel. Instead, her only appearance was from episode 31 of Shinkansen Henkei Robo Shinkalion. Like Hikari, she has brown hair and freckles on her face. Nozomi Horaki. Nozomi Horaki is the younger sister of Hikari and Kodama Horaki. Like Kodama, Nozomi never appeared anywhere in the Evangelion series. She was only seen in the Shinkalion anime. Like her sisters, Nozomi also has brown hair. Tsubame Suzuhara. Tsubame Suzuhara is the daughter of Toji Suzuhara and Hikari Suzuhara. Her aunts are Kodama Horaki, Nozomi Horaki, and Sakura Suzuhara. Tsubame is introduced during the events of EVA 3.0 plus 1.0 and is shown to have grown attached to the Ikari Racing Project as a game for the PC that was released in 2004. It is a slice-of-life simulation game where the player controls Shinji. The game features a visual novel type of gameplay and multiple routes, which is standard for the genre. It also featured characters not seen in the original anime, such as Mana Kirishima and the 3 technicians responsible for the Magi system. The game was officially released with Japanese and Korean fans in mind. Fortunately, a fan translation was created for English and Russian-speaking fans. The game received a manga adaptation of the same name that ran from 2005 to 2016. The manga adaptation has 18 volumes and is an erotic rom-com in nature. It also featured the same characters from the game it was based on. The manga was written by Osamu Takahashi. Kaede Agano. Kaede Agano is a character only seen in the Shinji Ikari Racing Project. She is the technician in charge of the Magi Systems, Balthasar. She oversees Shinji's progress in the mental strengthening program. Kaede is gentle and is good at cooking. Like other characters, Kaede's name, Agano, is associated with the Japanese Imperial Navy. Satsuki Ui. Satsuki Ui is a character only seen in the Shinji Ikari Racing Project. She is the technician in charge of the Magi Systems Casper. She oversees Shinji's progress in the sensitivity strengthening program. Kaede is half Russian, half Japanese, and loves vodka. Like other characters, Satsuki's name, Oi, is associated with the Japanese Imperial Navy. Aoi Mogami. Aoi Mogami is a character only seen in the Shinji Ikari racing project. She is the technician in charge of the Magi system Melchior. She oversees Shinji's progress in the intelligence program. Like the other technicians before her, Aoi's name, Mogami, is associated with the Japanese Imperial Navy. Live-action designs. In May 2003, a live-action adaptation of the series was announced. The design work for the adaptation was supposed to be worked on by Weta Workshop. They were the guys that did the makeup in the Lord of the Rings movies. They then produced a new concept design in 2004 which showed a reimagined Evangelion which leaned more towards the bionic aspect of the biomechanical design of the Evas. However, based on the concept arts, the setting would not be set on Tokyo 3. Weta Workshop also took a lot of liberties. This would include the horrible change in the Eva pilot's designs. The cast for the characters was also controversial. The script for the movie was never made. For more detailed information regarding this unmade movie, kindly refer to Mick Sansa's video. I will be providing a link to said video. Enchanted Shield of Virtue. The Enchanted Shield of Virtue first appeared in Operation Yashima, where Eva Unit 0 used it to defend against Ramiel, the Sixth Angel. The shield was then used by Eva Unit 8 at the start of Eva 3.0 plus 1.0. The anime and the rebuild of Evangelion versions have different designs. Neon Genesis Evangelion 64. Neon Genesis Evangelion 64 is on the events of the original anime and the end of Evangelion film. It featured 14 missions where the stages were designed for 3D models fighting. Unfortunately, it was only released in Japan. Failures of Infinity. Failures of Infinity refer to the headless Evangelion units as seen in the 3.0 plus 1.0 movie. They are red in color due to the effects of the L barrier caused by the near third impact. They are also known as the Walkers or Wanderers, as some would randomly get up and walk. Hakone. Hakone is the location of Tokyo 3. Gehern and Nerve's headquarters were constructed in Hakone after Seele discovered Lilith was located underneath the area. In the real world, Hakone was transformed into a resort town boasting Evangelion-related attractions, such as the Spear of Longinus display, a pool with red waters similar to the Red Seas in the rebuild of Evangelion movies, and even Eva-themed buses that tourists may use to traverse around the town. Iron Maiden 2nd. The Iron Maiden 2nd is a PS2 game released in Japan in 2005. It is a sequel to the first Iron Maiden game. However, Mana Kirishima is not seen here. Iron Maiden 2nd is also a visual novel game with only 2 routes the player missed on this game. Neon Genesis. Neon Genesis was the original name of the manga adaptation. It was changed to Neon Genesis Event minus space or anti-universe. The minus space or anti-universe is a place that is seen in the Eva 3.0 plus 1.0 movie. It was defined by Gendo as the realm of the gods. The Evangelion imaginary and the Golgotha object exist in this space. Only Adams. Evangelion Breaking Dawn. Evangelion Breaking Dawn is an app for Android and iOS. It was released globally in 2018. Players' other units from the Anima Light novels are also featured in this app. Another Evangelion movie. Another Evangelion movie refers to a Danish film inspired by Evangelion. Unfortunately, I've found little information regarding the said movie, and the IMDb URL provided in the forum no longer displays the movie's page. Eva 44B. Evangelion Mark 44B is a unit that appeared in EVA 3.0 plus 1.0. Mark 44B, like 44A, is EVA units with no arms and no head, connected by what looks like a generator. Mark 44B supplies the Mark 44 appeared in EVA 3.0 plus 1.0. This unit is also mass-produced and it does not require a pilot. It looks like a mechanical jellyfish-like unit with a positron cannon attached to its head. Mark 4444C coordinates with 44B to power its positron cannon. Evangelion Mark 7. Evangelion Mark 7 is an autonomous mass-produced unit seen in EVA 3.0 plus 1.0. It shares the same color scheme with the mass-produced Evangelion units seen at the end of Evangelion film. They are both beigeish and white with black accents. Mark 7 does not have an entry plug, nor is by Ikuto Yamashita and Seiji Kiyo. Here is an English translation of the paragraph containing the line, "Beasts in the shape of men run throughout a ruined city. They do not speak. They do not use tools. They run on all fours. They communicate only with the powerful gazes in order to protect their territory and the prosperity of their brood. They are wolfmen. When this mental contamination first infected normal humans, they live what could be described as a life of culture. But eventually, this mental contamination became an organic one, and in a short period of time, their bodies transformed into something like the werewolves of fairy tales." This paragraph was taken from the Shin Seiki Evangelion original film novel portion of the book. It seems that Yamashita might have been planning on adopting an Evangelion movie where werewolves might impact unintended the plot. Turil. Turil is an angel that only appeared in the Neon Genesis Evangelion proposal. It appears like a white monolith with spikes at the bottom and what seems to be an angel's core at the top. It can withstand attacks, and its main attack is self-destruction. Shatael. Another angel that only appeared in the Neon Genesis Evangelion proposal is Shatael. Shatael has the appearance of a giant floating crystal shard. The angel can absorb and utilize electricity. Ramiel's design might have been inspired by this angel. Neon Genesis Impacts. Neon Genesis Impacts is a short video shown in Kara's Japan Animator Expo back in 2015. In this clip, 3 characters are introduced: Haruka Ishii, Izumi Taniguchi, and Ayako Matsuzawa. The 3 girls are members of a musical group called Impacts. Their group was then separated due to the angel attacks. At the end of the video, Impacts is performing their last song, a sentimental hunch. Armaros. Armaros is the main antagonist of the Anima light novel series. It appears like a black mechanical giant, even more significant than the Evangelion units. At its back, Armaros' wing-like plates touch the ground. Armaros first appeared on the moon holding the Lance of Longinus. Its objective is to reset the world should human instrumentality fail to happen. Armaros is also referred to as the god of Evangelion by the characters in the books. The name Armaros may translate to fallen angel and is one of the fallen angels mentioned in the book of Enoch. The name was given by Misato to avoid association with Nerve's Evangelion units despite the similarities in appearance. Magi Ichiral. Magi Ichiral is a modified version of the Magi system utilized by Ville. The Ichiral performs the same functions as the original Magi system, such as the computations and decryptions. It is unknown what the difference between the Ichiral and the original Magi is. Comic Tribute. Comic Tribute is an anthological comedic manga released in 2010 and written and illustrated by different manga artists. It has 1 volume consisting of 18 chapters. Evangelion Battlefields. Evangelion Battlefields is a gacha game released in 2020 for Android and iOS. In this game, the player controls two pilots and their Evas, where they battle against another team of Evas. Like typical gacha games, there are daily missions and random rewards for finishing these missions. The game featured the usual pilots Shinji, Rei, Asuka, Kaoru, and Mari. New to the cast is a pilot introduced in the game Season 2. This pilot is Kotone Suzunami. Kotone Suzunami is an original character featured in the game Evangelion Battlefields. She is an Evangelion pilot in training and a famous singer and dancer in a streaming platform from the game's universe. Kotone's personality is bubbly, attracting people to her online and in real life. She has great work ethic in creating content and training as an EVA pilot. Despite her outward appearance, Kotone is shy regarding her personal life. Like other characters, Suzunami is also a battleship from the Japanese Imperial Navy. Hitomi Amagi. Another original character featured in the Evangelion Battlefields is Hitomi Amagi. She is a nerve operator that focuses on the virtual reality fighting arena used by the pilots for their combat training. Amagi's name is also based on a Japanese warship. Ninth Angel. The Ninth Angel is an enemy introduced in EVA 2.0. Its name is unknown. It took over Evangelion Unit 3 during the test operation performed by Asuka. The Ninth Angel apparently fused with Asuka's left eye. Asuka unleashes the Ninth Angel to penetrate the AT field protecting EVA Unit 13 in EVA 3.0 plus 1.0. Bunzaemon Horaki. Bunzaemon Horaki is Hikari's father and Toji's father-in-law. His only appearance is in EVA 3.0 plus 1.0, where he lives with his daughter and grandchild in Village 3. Evangelion Another Impact. Another Impact is a short anime shown at Japan Animator Expo in 2015. The clip was created and written by Shinji Aramaki. It featured a new Evangelion unit referred to as Another Number Unit Null. Another Number Unit Null is an Evangelion unit that looks similar to EVA Unit 1 except for the color palette. Its production and objective are entirely unknown. The unit appeared to go berserk in its debut clip. Evangelion Imaginary. Evangelion Imaginary is a being that appeared in EVA 3.0 plus 1.0. It has an appearance similar to Lilith. Instead, it is black. This being only exists within the minus space. Evangelion Imaginary transforms into a giant ray after absorbing the spears of Longinus and Cassius. Black Lilith. When Shinji first sees Evangelion Imaginary, Black Lilith is the term he used. Golgotha Object. Golgotha Object is a material that exists in the minus space. It has the appearance of a gigantic purple cross. Gendo stated that the Golgotha Object was left by an unknown entity in the minus space. Tony Takezaki. Tony Takezaki is a manga artist that worked on a parody manga based on Neon Genesis Evangelion. The manga has one volume of 22 chapters and was serialized from October 2010 to September 2011. F-type equipment. Two possible items refer to F-type equipment. The first would be equipment used to move Evangelion units via aerial transportation as seen in the original anime. Another is the equipment used in the Anima light novels, which is equipped by Evangelion units to enhance their AT field's defense. However, the armor reduces the EVA's movement due to its weight. Super Evangelion. Super Evangelion is a name given by Misato to EVA Unit 1 in the Anima light novel. When EVA Unit 1 received an S2 engine upgrade, Misato insisted on changing its name to Super EVA. Super EVA's armor is similar to the F-type equipment, having more details and weight. The S2 engine allows Shinji to pilot Super EVA without relying on an external power source. During the events of the light novel, Shinji later gained the ability to control Super EVA even without piloting it from the inside. Angel Carrier Type 1 and Angel Carrier Type 2. An Angel Carrier is a resurrected mass-produced Evangelion carrying an angel in its cocoon. It is powered by a QR signum in its chest, allowing it to function indefinitely. The Angel Carrier Type 2 is an upgraded version of Type 1. Like Type 1, it contains an angel in its cocoon and is powered by the QR signum. But new to this type is the location and amount of QR signums powering the Angel Carrier. Instead of having just one QR signum in its chest, Type 2 now has one on each shoulder pylon. Spear of Gaius. The Spear of Gaius is an artificially made spear produced by Ville. The spear may also be called the Spear of Ville, representing the human will. The Spear of Gaius was made from AAA Wonder's spinal cord. It was delivered to Shinji by Mari. The spear penetrates EVA Units 1 and 13 and all the other Evangelions at the end of EVA 3.0 plus 1.0. Nebuchadnezzar's Key usage. The Nebuchadnezzar's Key is an object smuggled by Kaiji from a nerve facility in the rebuild of Evangelion universe. The key appears to have a nervous system enclosed by a yellow transparent material. The key was used by Gendo, similar to how he used the Adam embryo from the original anime to reject and surpass his humanity. Nebuchadnezzar is a common name for Babylonian kings. Battle Cats Collab. Battle Cats is a free-to-play tower defense game for Android and iOS. In 2018, a limited-time collaboration between the game and the Evangelion series was introduced. This collaboration featured cat prizes that depict the Evangelion characters and other EVA-themed designs, such as Tokyo 3 being a stage where cats may battle. There are already 4 collaborations between Evangelion and Battle Cats, with the last happening in 2021. Until You Come to Me. Until You Come to Me is a short animated video directed by Tadashi Hiramatsu and illustrated by Tatsuya Kushida. It was shown on the Japan Animator Expo's website back in 2014. The clip showed Shinji walking along the L Barrier contaminated grounds as depicted at the end of EVA 3.0. Alcyon. Alcyon is an Evangelion fanfiction where 5 fugitives discovered Seilei's plan of initiating the third impact. With the help of their mechas known as Alcyon, the group tries to stop Seilei. The Alcyons took inspiration from the Evangelion's early designs. Evangelion RPG The Nerve White Paper. Evangelion RPG The Nerve White Paper refers to a card-based role-playing game released in 1996. The game featured a new pilot, Marie Vincennes, and 2 new angels, Barakijal and Iblis. Shepherdess. Shepherdess refers to the proposed design for the mass production Evangelions. The term was also mentioned in the movie proposal created by Yamashita. Secret of Evangelion. The Secret of Evangelion is a PS2 game released in 2006. The game was based on the events of the original anime and the end of Evangelion film. It featured different endings depending on the choices made by the player. In this game, an original character is introduced, Kyoya Kenzaki. The game later received ports for the PC and the PSP. Tier 6. Kyoya Kenzaki. Kyoya Kenzaki is the main character of the Secret of Evangelion game. He was appointed as a member of NERV's Intelligence Committee. Kyoya has known Misato, Ritsuko, and Kaji back from their time in college. Kyoya is calm and focused on his work at NERV and may appear cold towards others. Hitomi Kaga. Hitomi Kaga is another character seen in the Secret of Evangelion game. Hitomi works in producing the dummy plugs and dummy systems used for the Evangelions. She is clumsy and emotionally driven at times. Like Ritsuko, Hitomi prioritizes her passion for science and not men. Hitomi can use Evangelion Unit 4 with the help of the dummy plugs. Kaga, her last name, is an aircraft carrier used by the Japanese Imperial Navy. Maria Vincennes. Mario Vincennes is an American Evangelion pilot that appeared in the NERV White Paper game. Although having the title of an EVA pilot, Marya is not permitted for combat situations. Instead, Marya dwells more on the research and development aspects of the Evangelions. Marya's personality is the opposite of Asuka's. She pretends to be meek and polite, but is actually aggressive and conceited. She grows attached to Pen Pen and eventually connects with the other pilots. Like the other characters, Vincennes is a ship but belongs to the US Navy. Barakijal. Barakijal is an angel that appeared in the NERV White Paper game. In the game's universe, Barakijal is the designated 9th angel. It seems like a giant bacteria with a yellow substance surrounding its core. It can utilize acid against its opponent and crush people by rolling over them. Iblis. Iblis is another angel that appeared in the NERV White Paper game. But unlike Barakijal, Iblis's designated number is unknown. It looks like a giant turtle with a long tail and neck. It has a single eye located on its tongue. Iblis's core is located at the end of its long tail. In Islam, Iblis is the name of the devil. Evangelion Jo. Evangelion Jo is a game released in 2009 for the PS2 and PSP. The game is based on the events of EVA 1.0. Still, it also featured some elements from the original anime, such as the appearance of Asuka Soryu and not Shikinami. The game also featured the angels from the original anime instead of those from the rebuild movies. Evangelion Jo has multiple endings. Shinji Aramaki. Shinji Aramaki wrote and directed the Evangelion Another Impact short video. Aramaki also worked as a mechanical designer for Astro Boy, Full Metal Alchemist, and Halo Legends. Animate Voice Cassette. Animate Voice Cassette refers to an audio drama published in 1996. Being a cassette, it had two sides. Side A focuses on Shinji, while Side B focuses on Asuka. The cassette featured their original voice actors. Evangelion RPG Decisive Battle in Tokyo 3. Evangelion RPG Decisive Battle in Tokyo 3 is another RPG game. The RPG book featured character sheets, rules, and the story. 4 angels unique to this game also appeared: Atalibu, Adavakil, Zephon, and Azrael. Atalibu. Atalibu is an angel with an exotic body shape. It has long arms with sharp claws and an eye on its chest. Atalibu's core is located under its eye. Adavakil. Adavakil has the appearance of a jellyfish with multiple eyes surrounding its head. Its core is hidden inside its body and it can shoot high-pressure bullets. Zephon. Zephon has an appearance similar to that of Sakyl and Israfel. It has no eyes and its core is located at its hips. Azrael. Azrael's form is similar to a tadpole. It has a head with craters and a tail with masks, identical to Sakyl's. Its core is located in the middle area of the body. Azrael can manipulate gravity. Shinji and Mana's eloping. In Iron Maiden, there is a scene where Shinji and Mana inform Kensuke and Toji of their situation. The two planned to elope, and Shinji's friends decided not to stand in their way and even encouraged the two. Wanderers. Wanderers is another term referring to the failures of Infinity or the Headless Evas seen in 3.0 plus 1.0. The term was coined by Kensuke. Nekozame-class Orbital Assault Craft. The Nekozame-class Orbital Assault Craft are pods stored in the body of AAA Wunder. These pods gain fins at their bottom end when in use. They were used by Ritsuko and the other Villa staff to escape during the climax of EVA 3.0 plus 1.0. Arm Unit. The Arm Unit is an EVA unit that is just a pair of arms. It appears at the NERV HQ in EVA 3.0 plus 1.0. Without a proper body and legs, It hops around using its palms to pursue its target. The arm unit attacks with a knife, or it may also grab onto the target and self-destruct. Wings of Light. The Wings of Light appear during impacts. Its purpose is unknown, but it is theorized that concentrated AT fields produce these wings. Cavalry Base. The Cavalry Base is a nerve facility located in Antarctica. The second impact, Nerve and Ville. Additional Impact. The Additional Impact is an impact created by Gendo after completing the fourth impact in EVA 3.0 plus 1.0. This was triggered by Gendo to achieve the Human Instrumentality Project. Advanced Ayanami Series. The Advanced Ayanami series are Rei clones that are free from sexual desires. With their pure nature, the Advanced Ayanami clones are offered to the vessels of Adams. It is implied that these clones function similarly to dummy plugs for the EVA upper units. Evangelion Unit 0 Type 2 Kai Area Defense Unit 0.0 EVA. The Evangelion Unit 0 Type 2 Kai Area Defense Unit, or 0.0 EVA for short, is an original EVA from the Animal Light novel. The Area Defensive Unit consists of 3 identical 0.0 EVAs triangulated in outer space to monitor the surface of the Earth from possible angel threats. The defensive unit may snipe identified threats from outer space. The 3 units are connected via the Sword of Damocles network. These EVA units are piloted by Rei Quart, Rei Sync, and Rei C. In the original anime, we learned that the Rei we see after episode 23 was the 3rd clone. In the anime timeline, said clone was given a proper name and is now referred to as Rei Tra. Additional Rei clones were animated to increase the number of operational Evangelions. These Rei clones are inanimate and can only function when Rei Tra transfers her consciousness via the Sword of Damocles network. Later in the light novel, each of these clones gain their own personalities and can function outside of Rei Tra. At the novel's start, Rei Quart falls from orbit heading into Earth. She then kills Shinji and works with a Kaji vessel to fulfill Armaros' mission. She inherited Rei Tra's aspect of cowering and fear. This influenced the formation of her pessimistic personality. Rei Sync may appear popular to others due to her ability to recognize social cues. She inherited Rei Tra's problem-solving skills, giving her an empathetic perspective. Rei Sync dies by sacrificing herself so Asuka may arrive safely on the moon. Rei C, unlike the previous Reis, has a child's body. While having a mental age similar to her sister's, her personality is childish. She inherited Rei Tra's innocence. Thanks to his experience with his younger sister, Toji could command Rei C easily. Evangelion Unit 0 Type F Allegorica. The Evangelion Unit 0 Type F Allegorica is an EVA unit piloted by Rei C. It is Rei Tra's Evangelion Unit 0 Type F, but enhanced with the Allegorica armor. The Allegorica armor was first used by Asuka to fly to the moon. The armor has the appearance of a hind leg and a pair of wings. When attached to an EVA, it gives off a winged centaur look. Allegorica uses an N2 reactor and functions as a substitute power source for the EVA connected to it. It got its name for having a mythical appearance. QR Signum. The QR Signum is the power source used by the different EVAs from the Animal Light novels. They appear as black tablet-like objects and engraved by a red marking called scales. The power that the QR Signum produces comes from Armaros itself. Due to this, it gives Armaros some sort of control over the EVA using the QR Signum. The use of QR Signum may also affect the appearance of the EVA. Victor or Torwart. In the Animal Light novel, A pair of mechas was referred to as Victors by the NERV Japan branch. The name Torwart or Torwatcher, depending on the translation, was given to these mechas by NERV Germany. The Victors looked like black Evangelion units, but with a massive metal plate at their backs. They are controlled by Armoros, and the Victors can create portals that turn people to salt. The two entities were referred to as Victor 2 and Victor 3. The name Victor was derived from the phonetic alphabet for the letter V. The reason behind using the letter V was that the two entities were detected visually instead of via radar, hence gaining the V2 and V3 names as assigned by the Magi system. The word Torwart means keeper in German. Wolfpack or US Evangelion. Wolfpack is an Evangelion unit featured in the Animal Light novel. It was created by the US branch of NERV, making it the US Evangelion. It looks like a giant biomechanical wolf and walks using its 4 legs. Its pilot, Mari, is a child infused with animal DNA to be more compatible with the Eva. Like its pilot, Wolfpack carries animal DNA. Wolfpack got its name due to the Eva's ability to summon several beasts using its AT field. Kaji Vessel. Kaji Vessel refers to the character introduced in Animus Volume 2. The Kaji Vessel was a sailing member that transferred its consciousness to Kaji's body through Keel Lawrence's visor. His objective was to restart the Human Instrumentality Project by supporting Armoros' operation. Due to being an incarnation of a sailing member, the Kaji Vessel is knowledgeable about the previous Instrumentality Project and other lore-related information. Valley of Human Bodies. The Valley of Human Bodies is located in Morocco, North Africa. Here lies the Earth's Ark, a database of all genetic information where data can be pulled from after the events of the Instrumentality projects. This place also served as a battleground for hundreds of Evangelions from the previous iteration of the world. It got its name from the presence of the now dead Evangelions from the prior world. Metal Build Unit 1 Alternate Head Design. This entry refers to an illustration by Yamashita. It depicts Unit 1 with a head similar to the mass production Evas. Perhaps this is a different Evangelion unit sporting Eva Unit 1's iconic color scheme. Tier 7. Nebuchadnezzar's Key Cuneiform Writing. The Nebuchadnezzar's Key functioned the same way as the Adam embryo from the original anime. This point refers to the writing in its container. The writing of Mesopotamia. It is unknown what the writing says, except that the symbols used were also present on the angel's ceiling hex pillars. Ayanami Racing Project. By this point in the video, you'll probably be familiar with the Shinji Ikari Racing Project. But there also exists an Ayanami Racing project. The game was released for the PC in 2001 and later gained ports for the Sega Dreamcast, PS2, and Nintendo DS. The Ayanami Racing project is another simulation game like the previous racing project. The player manages a race weekly schedule, balancing her duties as an EVA pilot, a student, and an individual. It takes place during the events of the original anime and at the end of Evangelion movie. Like previous Evangelion games, this also features multiple endings. Hideaki Katsuragi. Hideaki Katsuragi, or Dr. Katsuragi, referred to by the characters, is Misato Katsuragi's father. He is a scientist who worked on the super solenoid theory, from which the S2 engine was named. He died during the second impact on the South Pole while on an expedition funded by Gihirn. In EVA 2.0, a flashback is shown giving Misato the cross necklace she wears today. Overlapping State. The overlapping state refers to the event when Mari cannibalizes the marks 9, 10, 11, and 12. This state allowed Unit 8 Gamma to regenerate and transform to the final Evangelion. Oni Eva. In episode 21 of the Shinkansei Henkei Robo Shinkalyan Z anime, Gendo Ikari is shown interacting with the protagonists inside a train. Another fan service treat for Eva fans is the appearance of the Oni Eva. Also known as the Demon Eva, it is a monster that looks similar to a berserking Eva. The code was given by Gendo himself. Like most Evas, the Oni Eva can utilize an AT field to bolster its defense. The Oni Eva has two forms. The first is a typical bipedal Evangelion, while the second form appears more animal-like and uses its forelimbs to run faster. Spear of Junctions. The Spear of Junctions is another spear that only appeared in episode 21 of Shinkansen Henkei Robo Shinkalyan Z. Its appearance is similar to the Spear of Longinus. Evangelion Anus. Evangelion Anus is a meme based on Katsuka's tweet wherein a technique to provide oxygen via the anus was named after the beloved series. Second impact remains. I'm not sure what this point means, but still, my interpretation is that during the events of the rebuild of Evangelion movies, we see that the wildlife and environment of the world got drastically changed due to the second impact. With many of the world's population, nature included, we see the International Environmental Agency raising the preservation and research of the marine ecosystem. This claim is supported by the fact that we know that the sea at the beginning of EVE 1.0 is color red, possibly due to the blood from the dead sea creatures. Gunbuster. Gunbuster is an anime that aired from 1988 to 1989. The series was the directorial debut of Hideaki Anno, and it was produced by Studio Gainax. Gunbuster has a total of 6 episodes. AW Mastema. AW Mastema is a weapon seen in the Neon Genesis Evangelion game and anime light novel. AW stands for All-Range Weapon, and the Mastema name was derived from a fallen angel that brought suffering to humans. As the name suggests, it may function as a missile launcher, a gun, or a gunblade, appropriate for any fighting style that the user may opt to. Salt. Salt refers to the phenomenon in anime where living beings exposed to the portals created by the victors of the Ark or the light from the Spear of Longinus turn into pillars of salt. This event basically renders the affected beings inanimate and virtually dead. Perhaps by turning into salt, the genetic data is transferred to the Ark's database. The only way to prevent this from happening is with the use of Orichalcum. After being exposed to the Ark, Kansuki uses a piece of metal to prevent him from turning into salt. The material was later integrated with plug suits used by the Eva pilots from the anime light novel. Chronostatic Sphere. The Chronostatic Sphere is an egg-shaped object covering the original Nerves HQ in the anime timeline. In this timeline, human instrumentality was stopped before it was even triggered, resulting in the creation of the spear, which shelters Lilith. The spear is all black as it absorbs all light towards it. It is speculated by scientists that time does not move at all inside the spear. Thus, Nerve Japan deemed the staff trapped inside dead. Yomotsu Hirasaka. Yomotsu Hirasaka is a lunar landmass separated from the moon and heading towards the Earth. The name was given by Misato from the anime light novel. It eventually landed on the Izu Peninsula in the Pacific Ocean. In Japanese mythology, the Yomotsu Hirasaka was an entrance to the underworld. Apple's Core. The Apple's Core is a heavenly body located on the opposite side of the sun, making it unobservable from Earth's point of view. It is also known as the Garden of Eden, where humankind was created. The Apple's Core served as a testing ground for the instrumentality projects in the past. It got its name due to its shape forming what looks like an apple's core. The planet does not rotate on its axis, making the opposite sides permanently day and night. Dinosaurs. Dinosaurs may refer to the appearance of dinosaurs via the genetic data present in the Earth's arc. These creatures were seen during the Valley of Human Bodies events from Anima's second volume. Yamato. Yamato was a battleship from Hiroshima, upgraded via the installation of an N2 reactor. The ship was featured in the Anima light novel and served as an EVA carrier and other support-related tasks utilized by NERV Japan. Black plates. The black plates may be referring to the massive hunks of metal attached at the back of the Victors and Armoros. These plates are actually the roots of the World Tree, giving the bearers of these plates the ability to open portals and traverse the planet unseemingly. AT Field Beasts. The AT Field Beasts are a pack of animals conjured via Wolfpack's AT Field. These beasts are remnants of the souls infused on the Wolfpack unit. Mari can summon these beasts to aid her in her battles. Center Trigonus. The Center Trigonus is Super Evangelion's power source. This allowed Shinji to control Super Eva even when he was outside of the Eva itself. The Center Trigonus gets its power by absorbing the energy from other dimensions. Mark 7's teeth count. The Mark 7's teeth are similar to that of an adult human. It has 16 teeth in the upper mouth and another 16 in the lower mouth. Tatsuya Kushida. Tatsuya Kushida worked as a background artist for the original anime, Death and Rebirth, and the end of Evangelion movies. Kushida also worked as an art director for the rebuild of Evangelion movies. He also helped in the animation of the Until You Come to Me short animation. Evangelion Online. Evangelion Online is a mobile game for Android and iOS released in 2016. Based on the footage, it seems like a typical gacha mobile game featuring the EVA characters and their units fighting against angels. Battle Orchestra. Battle Orchestra is a PS2 game released in 2007 and later received a PSP port in 2009. It is a side-scroller fighting game where players may play as the Evangelions and even the angels. Evangelion Type Beta or Evangelion Unit Beta. The Evangelion Type Beta is an original unit that appeared in the Evangelion Detective game. It was also featured in the Battle Orchestra game. The unit was piloted by Kaoru at both appearances. The unit is also referred to as Evangelion Unit Beta. Evangelion Unit Alpha. Evangelion Unit Alpha is another original unit that only appeared in Battle Orchestra. The EVA is piloted via a dummy plug. Rebuild of Evangelion 1.01. Rebuild of Evangelion 1.01 is a short video included in the DVD release of Evangelion 1.0 You Are Not Alone. This video featured details on the movie's development. Kielagung 21 Juni 11805. This refers to a plaque in the AAA Wunder with these words written. The writing is German and translates to Bupe Kiel late 21 June 11805 Special Authority NERV Lead Ship of the Guardians of Gulf Class. Image boards by Mahiro Maeda. Included in the Evangelion 3.33 You Cannot Reduce Home Release is a set of image boards by Mahiro Maeda. It showed storyboards that were cut from the movie. Cyber Gendo. Included in Maeda's image boards are concept arts of a Gendo different from the one we saw in the movie. This rendition of Gendo has long hair, a beard, and only one eye. It seems that the left side of his body has been mechanicalized, probably due to the near-third impact. In one of the photos, Gendo is seen genuinely smiling. Pico Pico. Neon Genesis Evangelion, Legend of the Pico Pico Middle School Students, or Pico Pico for short, is a comedy manga that serialized from 2014 to 2018. The story follows the typical EVA manga spin-off where the cast attends school like usual teenagers. What's different in Pico Pico is that the cast plays video games at school and takes it seriously, like how they trained as pilots from the original anime. Hawk. Hawk is another character from the Secret of Evangelion game. He reports under Kyoya Kanzaki. He is an agent who spies on Seele. Hawk's real name is unknown. Porter. Like Hawk, Porter is an agent from NERV's Security Intelligence Department. However, unlike Hawk, Porter does not betray Kyoya in the story. Hajime Suruga. Hajime Suruga is an original character in the Secret of Evangelion game. Hajime is an engineer that worked in NERV's Technology Development Department and is in charge of coordinating with Seilei. Koji Katori. Koji Katori is another character from the Secret of Evangelion game. He is an engineer in NERV and a member of Hajime's coup d'etat faction. Koji stole the activation code of the dummy plugs and was killed in the process. Mitsuru Wakatake. Mitsuru Wakatake is an original character also from the Secret of Evangelion game. Mitsuru is an engineer in NERV's Technology Development Department. In the game, he died via suffocation. Shinji's cousin and uncle. Shinji's cousin and uncle were only present in the manga adaptation of the series. In the manga, Shinji stays with his mother's relatives after Yui's death. Yui's death caused trouble for Shinji in this household. The cousin and uncle's names are unknown. SJHU. SJHU refers to the Shin Japan Heroes Universe, a project collaborated between Shin Evangelion, Shin Ultraman, Shin Kamen Rider, and Shin Godzilla. The project was announced back in February 2022. Tier 8. GUEK. GUEK stands for Global Unknown Event Keepers. It is an organization original to the Shin Japan Heroes Universe collaboration. The organization monitors phenomena involving extraterrestrial life forms and the paranormal. Its objective is to protect the human race from such threats. Shin 765 Operation. Shin 765 Operation is an attraction in Japan, specifically in Osaka, Yokohama, and Hakata. This attraction is part of the SJHU collaboration. Novaya Zemlya. Novaya Zemlya is an archipelago in the north part of Russia. In Anima's story, the location served as a battlefield for the Evas. The Crimson A1, a fusion between Eva Unit 2 and Asuka, is seen aiding the enemy, giving her the Torch Watcher status. Tower of Babel. The Tower of Babel is a four-sided pyramidical structure created by four angel carriers with staves producing an invisible wall. Inside the tower, Super Eva and Wolfpack were trapped by the angel carriers. The structure functioned the same way as the Tower of Babel from the Bible, wherein the people in its immediate vicinity could not communicate with each other due to its presence. Aside from oral communication, written and radio communication near the tower were also affected. NERV US Conspiracy. This point may be referring to NERV US' decision to infuse their EVA pilots with animal DNA. In Anima's timeline, NERV US could not produce a proper Evangelion pilot within the usual means. To solve this problem, their scientists decided to splice the genetic material of animals with their pilots. Mari, Wolfpack's pilot, is an example of this. Ark. The Ark is a physical object with dark glass walls that appeared in the Anima light novel. It serves as a genetic data bank to preserve the living beings from being wiped from the instrumentality projects. There are two Arks, one on the moon and one in the Valley of Human Bodies. At the end of the Anima novel, Earth's Ark is transferred to the Apple's core. Being exposed to the Ark will turn living organisms into salt. Rebuild of Evangelion 2.02. Rebuild of Evangelion 2.02 is another short video featuring the development of Evangelion 2.0 You Cannot Advance. This short video is included in the home release of the movie. Rebuild of Evangelion 3.33. Rebuild of Evangelion 3.33 is a video showing the development of Evangelion 3.0 You Cannot Redo. This video was included in the movie's home release. This video is also viewable from the EVA Extra app. Evangelion Unit 8+2 Concept Designs. This entry refers to a concept art in the rebuild of Evangelion 3.33. We see an EVA unit with its left side reflecting Unit 8's appearance and its right side showing Unit 2's design. Evangelion 3.333 Breakdown. Like the rebuild of Evangelion 3.33, the Evangelion 3.333 breakdown was included in Evangelion 3.33 You Cannot Reduce Home Release. The video breaks down the film's special effects work process. Atsushi Takeuchi. Atsushi Takeuchi is a designer who worked on the Evangelion Another Impact Confidential short. He also worked on the Psycho-Pass movie as a storyboard artist and a concept art design for Fate Grand Order. Bisty. Bisty is a Japanese company that creates pachinko machines. The company had collaborated with the Evangelion franchise for many years. It had produced a lot of machines featuring the series. CR Neon Genesis Evangelion. CR Neon Genesis Evangelion is a pachinko simulation game for the PS2. The game was released in 2005 and, unfortunately, I could not find any footage for this game. M144 Evangelion Custom Super Electromagnetic Crossbow. The MM144 Evangelion Custom Super Electromagnetic Crossbow is a weapon used by Unit 2 in Evangelion 2.0 You Cannot Advance. The gun initially used the AT fields to shoot its projectiles, but was later changed and used electromagnetic propulsion instead. Basically, it's a giant railgun. Portable battery. In the rebuild movies, EVA units were able to function without the use of umbilical cords. This is thanks to the use of a portable battery system. Spear of Lucretius. The Spear of Lucretius is the lance of philosophy that appeared in the 5th volume of the Anima light novel. The spear was created by Shinji. Type 3 Prototype Maser Howitzer. The Type 3 prototype Maser Howitzer is a vehicle equipped with weapons for suppressing angel-scale attacks. The Maser Howitzer was created by the Japanese Strategic Self-Defense Force in the Anima storyline. EXW-038 Guided Artillery Cannon Niarl. The EXW-038 Guided Artillery Cannon Niarl is a mounted cannon at Super Eva's shoulder pylons. This weapon was only seen in the Anima light novel. SU-27 SMN Squared Platypus 2. The Su-27 SMN Squared Platypus 2 is an aircraft that appeared in the Anima light novel. The aircraft used the same technology as the Allegorica armor to achieve flight. It has a positron cannon attached to it. Recoilless Rifle. The Recoilless Rifle is a weapon for the Metal Build Evangelion 0 Prototype Unit 0 released in May 2022. The gun can be attached to the Eva's shoulder or thighs. Kokoro yo Genshini Modore. Kokoro yo Genshini Modore, or Heart Return to Your Origin, is a song by Yoko Takahashi. The song was not featured in any of the series' games or anime. Instead, this was included in Takahashi's Refrain album, released in 1997, an album that was inspired by the series. Lieutenant Colonel Clausewitz. Lieutenant Colonel Clausewitz is an original character mentioned in the Anima light novel. He is the commissioned officer of the Euro 6th Rapid Response Unit. He is on good terms with acting Deputy Commander Toji Suzuhara. Toji's arm and leg European operation. In Anima's timeline, after Toji's defeat as the pilot of EVA Unit 3 at the hands of Shinji, he survived the battle, but his arm and leg were destroyed. They were replaced by cybernetic limbs so that Toji may function normally. Toji's original arm and leg were studied by NERV Germany as they contained the genetic material of an angel. It was later smuggled by Kensuke and then given back to Toji. Nerveland. This entry may be referring to the pachinko promotional material. This video depicts the cast enjoying themselves in a festival, doing activities such as Asuka catching a fish and Mari winning a prize in a ring game. The promotional material also featured the chibified cast in comedic skits. Neon Genesis Evangelion Shito Ikusei. Shito Ikusei is a game released for the WonderSwan and published in 1999. In this game, the player controls Kaji and you must take care of the Adam embryo. The game has Tamagotchi elements. It received an English fan translation in March 2021. Shinkalion Z 500 Type Eva. The Shinkalion Z 500 Type Eva is a Shinkalion that appeared in the Shinkansei Henkei Robo Shinkalion anime. Being a Shinkalion, its body compromises the bullet train's chassis. It sports Eva Unit 1's iconic colors and features its face. This Shinkalion is piloted by this universe's Shinji Ikari. Hakone Express. This point may be referring to the Hakone Express toy, which featured the decals and characters of the series. This may also refer to a decal written in Eva Unit 8 Gamma's Dragon Carrier, the gigantic backpack that can carry the Eva's weapons. Evangelion Unit 1 Type CQB. This Evangelion unit appeared in the Anima visual book. The only thing unique about this model I could find is its armor, a very subtle difference from the classic Eva Unit 1. Misato Katsuragi's reporting plan. This entry refers to a PS3 and PSP game released in 2009. It is exclusive to the Japanese market. The game featured a virtual Misato. Unfortunately, the game was eventually pulled out in 2010. Blue-haired 3D CGI walker. In the rebuild of Evangelion 3.33, Shinji is seen walking. The scene was captured using a virtual camera. In it, a character with blue hair is seen, serving as a placeholder for Shinji. It is unknown who this character is and is probably just a placeholder used by the animators. Evangelion Birth Being. In the image boards included in Evangelion 3.33 You Cannot Reduce home release, there is a sketch depicting how Evangelions are born. An unknown entity is seen birthing and taking care of the Evas. Tier 9. Evangelion The Flight and Otsura N223. Evangelion The Flight refers to a flight simulator attraction that started in July 2020, only for a limited time. In this attraction, one boards a plane named Otsuru N223, where Mari pilots said plane. The aircraft is then attacked by an angel, and Shinji, Asuka, and Rei protect you. Evangelion Final Model. Evangelion Final Model, not to be confused with the Final Evangelion, is an Evangelion featured in the Anima light novels. The Evangelion Final Model is also known as Evangelion Final Stage. The unit is an evolution of the Super Evangelion piloted by Shinji. Lilith's Spear. Lilith's Spear refers to the chronostatic spear. It is also referred to as Lilith's Spear. It was created around Lilith when the human instrumentality was foiled. Inside is an area where time moves so slowly that the people trapped within are virtually dead. Glass Egg. This point may refer to the outer layer of the chronostatic spear from the Anima light novel. In the later parts of the Anima timeline, the chronostatic spear is removed from Hakone, and what is left is the glass egg. Later on, Rei Quartz pierces the glass egg using the Lance of Longinus created by Seilei. Kensuke Aida, European Spy. In the Anima timeline, Kensuke works as a NERV, Japan's intelligence department agent. He later becomes a European spy while working with Kaji behind the scenes. Kensuke was responsible for Hikari becoming an EVA pilot for NERV Germany, for the visor that transformed Kaji into the Seilei vessel, and for Toji's amputated limbs. Hajime Aida. Hajime Aida is Kensuke's father. He was only mentioned in EVA 3.0 plus 1.0, and we, as viewers, only see his tomb being visited by Kensuke. It was stated that he survived the near-third impact, but then died in an accident. Iphicli Javelin. The Iphicli Javelin is an N2 warhead launched by a ballistic missile. It has an anti-Angel 80 field-piercing property. The javelin was considered to stop Yomotsu Hirasaka from crashing into Earth. Strategic Defense Force Integrated Mechanic Soldier Type 4 Akashima. The Akashima mecha is a distant iteration of the Jetalone robots. It is a weapon created by the JSSDF to handle Angel-related attacks. The Akashima is powered by the N2 reactor and is compatible with the Eva's weapons. This mecha is only seen in the Anima light novels. Time Break. Time break may refer to the phenomenon wherein time is frozen but only limited to a specific area. Outside of this area, time still moves naturally. I think this point may be related to 0.82 seconds. This entry refers to an event that happened in the Anima light novels. To prevent the world's destruction, Shinji froze the third impact caused by Yomotsu Hirasaka crashing into Earth. Time around Shinji was essentially frozen to the 0.82 seconds until the actual third impact. Metal Build Evangelion Zero Prototype. The Metal Build Evangelion Zero Prototype is a figure released just this year. The figure comes with many accessories and weapons, such as the recoilless cannon, the positron rifle, and portable batteries. There are also metal builds for EVA Unit 1 and Unit 2. Matsuri Spirit Version. This point refers to a song titled The Cruel Angel's Thesis, Matsuri Spirit Off-Vocal Version. The song features what seems to be a flute, drums, and vocals, although there aren't any audible lines throughout the whole thing. This song was released in 2019. I think it might be an interpretation of EVA's iconic opening song but translated using traditional Japanese instruments. NERV US. NERV US refers to the US branch of NERV. In Anima's timeline, NERV US was responsible for the creation of Wolfpack, along with the genetic splicing of its pilot, Mari. R14, R15, R16, R17, R18, and R19. This point refers to a bunch of extra-canonical Evangelion units featured in the Evangelion Online mobile game. EVA R14 is piloted by Ryuri, a soft-spoken reserve pilot. R15 is controlled via a dummy plug. R16 is piloted by Fujisaki, a timid pilot. R17 is piloted by Karin, a pilot and a doctor. R18 is piloted by Kensuke, and lastly, R19 is piloted by Hikari. Commander Nikolaev. Commander Nikolaev is NERV Russia's commander. Like the other EVA characters, Nikolaev's name is based on the Soviet missile cruiser of the same name. SRM-50. The SRM-50 is a weapon used by Super EVA from the Anima light novels. It seems to be a blade attached to the unit's knees. Roar to the Future and Miyavi. Roar to the Future is a pachinko machine created to celebrate the 25 years of collaboration between Evangelion and Beastie. The machine featured Yoko Takahashi's song, Soul's Refrain, and guitar performance by Miyavi, a Japanese guitarist, singer-songwriter, and record producer. The pachinko machine also featured the song Final Call. E-Mono. E-Mono is a catalog that features Evangelion-related merchandise. The 143-page book was released on Christmas Day, 1997. Failed Pilot's European Villa. This point refers to Anima's line, stating that a mountain town houses Europe's Evangelion research facilities. Candidate pilots that failed to synchronize with Europe's Earth-based unit are held under strict observation there as they possess sensitive information. Asuka's mother is alive. In Anima, Asuka's mother is comatose and is under the care of the mentioned European villa. Hikari could see Asuka's mother, but unfortunately, she was disabled. Well, at least in this universe, Asuka's mom is alive. Old Evangelion manga logo. The manga's initial logo was different from the last issues. This is due to the manga being released before the anime. Like the manga's title, the logo was later changed to better reflect the anime's. Transformers Mode Eva. This entry is a crossover between Evangelion 3.0 You Cannot Redo and Transformers. The crossover features a 4-part web novel released between May and November 2014. Petite Eva Evangelion at Game. Petite Eva Evangelion at Game is a game for the Nintendo DS released in 2009. The game featured chibified cast and their usual antics. The player takes control of Shinji and plays minigames. Petite Eva Bokura Tanken Dokokai. This is a manga written and illustrated by Maki Ozora and has one volume consisting of 19 chapters. This manga has the same art style as the other Petite Eva adaptations. Evangelion Unit 2 Type F. This unit appears in the Anima visual book. This form of Eva Unit 2 was intended for close-quarter combat. Eva Unit 2 is powered by the N2 reactor in this form, dismissing its need for an external power source. Ayanami Racing Project with Asuka Supplement Project 4, The Ayanami Racing Project with Asuka Supplement Project 4, is an anthology manga based on the Ayanami Racing Project game. The manga is a rom-com and has 2 volumes that were released in 2003. It's a miraculous win. This entry refers to a manga written and illustrated by Komi Yoshida. Its story is based on the CR Evangelion machines. In this manga, Sakura Mogami is an office lady who loves playing Evangelion-themed pachinko machines. Sakura is an obsessed Evangelion fan who loves to blow off steam by reminiscing over the series. This manga has 14 volumes and was serialized from 2006 to 2015. Aten's Hammer. Aten's Hammer is an anti-angel weapon that watches over the lands of Longinus on the moon. It is essentially a massive rock with rockets strapped to it. Devil's Backbone. The Devil's Backbone was a weapon used by Hikari's Urtubis in the Anima light novels. The gun was made of an Eva's body with its mouth serving as the gun's barrel. The weapon is also called Field Piercer as it has the property to pierce 80 fields. SRM-61A Field Penetrator aka Kesara. Kesara is a sword with 80 field-piercing properties that Super Eva uses. The blade analyzes the enemy's 80 field. It then needs to be reconfigured to counter said field's pattern, cancelling the field's defense. Kesara has a twin sword also used by Super Eva, called SRM-62B or Basara. 078099922933++. This number refers to the amount of midichlorians found in Toji's body as seen in the manga panel. Eva Mark 9A type and Eva Mark 9B type. These types were alternative head designs for Evangelion Unit Mark 9. Tier 10. Azuchi and Momo. Azuchi and Momo are 2 golden retrievers owned by Lieutenant Colonel Kasuga. The 2 dogs are good friends with Reisi and Mari. Azumaterasu or Sacrilegus. Azumaterasu is a giant bow that uses energy to shoot its projectiles. It fires arrows of light and has enough power to destroy a large chunk of Yomotsu Hirasaka. Azumaterasu also draws a lot of energy, and Shinji could only use the bow thanks to Super Eva's S2 engine. The bow is also known as Sacrilegus, as referred to by the Kaji vessel. Noah. According to the Bible, Noah created an ark to provide shelter and ensure the survival of God's creation from the Great Flood. In Anima, Noah was mentioned by the Kaji vessel as he remembers the same ordeal that Noah faced. Still, this time the Human Instrumentality Project is the Great Flood. World Tree. The World Tree is a tunnel network that connects the Human Instrumentality Project. The backplate seen from the victors are the roots of the World Tree. These things allow them to traverse the world tree and teleport to another location worldwide. The routes are also connected to Earth's arc. Eva and Eva 2 Anthology. This entry refers to an anthology of manga, illustrations, and essays based on the original anime and the Neon Genesis Evangelion's PS2 game. It was published by Kadokawa Shoten in 2004. Various collaborations of this anthology included Osamu Takahashi and Tony Takazaki, who would later create their own Evangelion spin-offs. King Ghidorah. King Ghidorah is an antagonist that appeared in the Godzilla vs. Evangelion crossover in 2019. It has the appearance of a golden, three-headed dragon with massive wings. Feast of Dolls and Nene Matsukaze. Feast of Dolls refers to another visual novel game. In this game, Nene Matsukaze is introduced. Nene carries a teddy bear that she calls Sandy-san. Her design is based on the idea of a contest winner. Like the other characters, Matsukaze is named after one of the ships of the Japanese Imperial Navy. Natsuko Kako, Kyuko Nachi, Erika Kashi, and Mimi Satsuma. These are murder victims introduced in the Detective Evangelion game. Natsuko is a 14-year-old student that looks a lot like Nadia from Nadia the Secret of Blue Water. Kyoko is a 29-year-old science teacher. Erika is a 27-year-old nerve staff. Lastly, Mimi is a 23-year-old music teacher. These characters are all named after ships from the Japanese Navy. Wahaman's Ishtar. Yoshito Asari created the manga Wahaman, a slice-of-life sci-fi mecha manga with only 16 episodes. Asari also assisted in character design for the Neon Genesis Evangelion anime. It is believed that Satchel was based on Ishtar. Alpha Type Eva 000. This Evangelion unit was mentioned in the draft for episode 24's script. This Evangelion would then be piloted via a dummy plug. Teen Machine. Teen Machine Inc. is a company that collaborated with Evangelion and created mobile games such as Neon Genesis Evangelion Side Story 1: A Midsummer Night's Dream. Midsummer Night's Dream is a mobile game released in 2005. The game was a joint effort between Gainax and Teen Machine. The game's story is entirely original and it features multiple endings. Evangelion RPG Angel Racing Project. Angel Racing Project is another mobile game developed by Teen Machine and Gainax that was released in 2006. The game featured a dungeon exploration gameplay where players could grow and nurture their chosen angel. Neon Genesis Evangelion Fighting Operation. Fighting Operations is a mobile game released in 2007. This game was another joint development between Gainax and Teen Machine. It is a 3D fighting game where players can choose to play as either the Evangelions or the Angels. Eliminator Taurus. The Eliminator Taurus is a weapon mentioned in the Animalite novel. The weapon was utilized by Mari's Wolfpack. It is mounted at the Wolfpack's back and rotates to produce explosive charges that could create micro black holes. Utopian Dream. Utopian Dream is a song by Shiro Sagisu that was used in the CR Evangelion pachinko machine. The song featured an orchestra and vocals with English lyrics. Eva C. Eva C is an ancient official Evangelion manga anthology. The manga was released in 1995 and like the other manga based on the series, it is unknown to most people. Genzai Nigoki Isochu. This entry refers to an old manga. The title translates to Currently Transferring Unit 2. I could not find much information about this entry. Rei no Himitsu. Rei no Himitsu refers to an illustration art book released in 1996. This book is only available in Japan and perhaps it is just a cult. Best Reishu. Best Reishu is another anthology manga. Its cover depicts Rei and Asuka undressing their plug suits. Keikoku Sangoki Busochu. This entry refers to another manga. The title translates to Warning, Unit 3 is out of control. Traitorous Angel. Traitorous Angel is another anthology manga. Like the previous entries, I couldn't find much information about them unfortunately. X-22 and X-31. The X-22 and X-31 are extra-canonical Evangelion units only seen in some games. X-22 has two pilots, Chiba Ryu and Sakura Suzuhara, while X-31 is piloted by Kayoko and Nishimoto Seiya. Evangelion Gray, Red, Orange color scheme. Found in Anno's Twitter account is an illustration of Evangelion Unit 1 instead of the iconic deep purple, neon green, and orange color scheme. The Eva is seen colored gray, red, and orange. It was stated that this is the color scheme at the start of the anime's production. Pyramid Beings concept art. This entry may be referring to the winged snake-like beings seen in the pillars of the Nerves Pyramid. These creatures are featured in Maida's storyboards. KEG-46R Yamato Rebuild. The Yamato Rebuild is a cannon with high explosive ammunition. It got its name from the Yamato warship as it reuses the same barrel the ship used to have. The weapon is used by Super Eva, similar to a pistol. Shinji and Good Friends. Shinji and Good Friends is a card and puzzle game released for the PC in 1999. It featured several card-based minigames. Shroud of Turin. The Shroud of Turin was an object used by Kensuke in the Anima light novel. The material had a property similar to orichalcum, which defends the wielder against the effects of Armaros. Arca. Arca, or Aluka, is a place mentioned in the Evangelion proposal. It is a ruin that was supposed to be the setting for episode 25. Project Moon Thief. This entry was mentioned in the latter part of the Anima light novels. When Earth's mass and its waters is being siphoned by the moon, the project was mentioned to get the stolen mass back to Earth. Black Creatures. The Black Creatures were mentioned in Volume 4 of the Anima light novels. These creatures weren't angels and behaved like beasts. They were eventually defeated by the JSSDF. Their origins and objectives are unknown. Positron Hammer. This may refer to a hammer weapon used by the Evas. According to South American, the weapon was found in the Detective Evangelion game. Unfortunately, I haven't found any footage for this entry. YS Identity. For the viewers that reach this point of the video, I have a gift for you. This entry refers to an erotic doujin named C63, Sick Boys, and 2 Bomb. The doujin depicts the female cast of Evangelion in suggestive poses. The art style is also reminiscent of the official art style by Sadamoto. The artwork are seen to be signed by YS11. It is speculated that it was Sadamoto himself that created this doujin. Since it cannot be proven or disproven, you may check the doujin and judge it for yourself. And that's it for the Ultimate Neon Genesis Evangelion Iceberg. If you know the explanation for the mentioned points or would like to correct me on my interpretations, please let us know by commenting below. I read every comment and I try to reply to each one of them. Your input is greatly appreciated. I would like to thank everyone who subscribed to my channel. At the time of this recording, we currently have 330 subscribers. Thank you, everyone. Also, if you want to be notified when the next video comes out, why not give a starting YouTuber a chance by subscribing if you still haven't? It really means a lot. Congratulations on finishing this long video. Thank you so much for watching. And goodbye, all of Evangelion. Like and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Let me know what subject you want me to cover next. Again, this is Kuryente King. Thanks for watching and have an awesome day.